All right. I've delayed long enough, so I will quickly.
The Mark Thompson Show.
It's very exciting to have seen this guy in the flesh in San Francisco. He writes for The Voice of San Francisco. He's written for the San Francisco Chronicle. He is a talented writer. He's written scripts and he's been a script doctor and he's a master editor. But his real superpower is knowing music and knowing movies and streaming entertainment. He is the culture blaster, and he comes and goes on a rainbow. The great Michael Snyder, everyone. How about it for Michael Snyder, the culture blaster? Hey. How are you, culture blaster?
Hello again, Mark. We had the great fun of getting together last night at happy hour at a hotel bar that is legendary. It's the Pied Piper Bar, which features a beautiful mural that is the painting The Pied Piper by the great Maxfield Parrish. The glowing California light that comes off that painting is, it belies the fact that the Pied Piper, I think, wasn't he German or something? What was he doing in Cali back in the day? But that said, we were there with our pal, Alan White, and it was great fun. And, I'll see you back in Los Angeles soon. But for the time being, I'm here in SF.
Now, look at Tony rallying a picture of the Pied Piper Bar. Well done.
I know. And there's that Maxfield Parrish poster for those of you that are getting the video feed. You were talking about party affiliations earlier, and my party affiliation is the Fun Party, and we go all night long, and that doesn't change the fact that we have an important election coming up. And to that end, tonight is the Hunter's Moon. I live my life according to the full moon. Everybody who knows me knows that. I mean, I get bummed out at the blue moon. I howl at the wolf moon. I get hives during the strawberry moon. But tonight is the Hunter's Moon, and right now I
think to be pure, it's the Hunter's laptop moon, isn't it? I think that's what.
What?
I'm sorry, couldn't resist. Go ahead, Michael, please.
It might be, but honestly. Hey, dude, I get my lab work done at the blood moon, so don't even. But I wanted to say that I'm hunting votes. I did my mail-in ballot. I voted this week here in the Bay Area, and I encourage everybody to
there
get
you
out
are.
there.
Look at Michael holding up the I voted. That's very, very impressive.
Well, it's legit,
Michael.
man. I want people to get out there and let their voices be heard. Anyway, speaking of
course,
that is a damning non-answer.
Okay.
Speaking of being heard, let's go briefly into the new movies this week. There's nothing really earth-shaking.
Go ahead. Yes.
Nothing.
Would you let Michael Snyder talk? Stop hitting him with drops. Go ahead, please.
Listen, I can't control you people. I can't. Okay, if I had my hands on the dial.
What do you have for us this week? Go great.
All right, let's kick it off with the sequel to the horror movie, which I thought was incredibly clever, albeit a little abstract in its concepts. Smile. It's called Smile 2, very original, and it's done by the same writer-director, Parker Finn, who did the first movie. And in that movie, some kind of amorphous demon that forces people to smile passes a kind of infection along from person to person where they kill themselves, and the next person who sees the killing gets infected with the demon again, and of course eventually has to pass on this sort of demonic virus that forces people to smile and kill themselves. So what's cool about that it was clever, even if it was a little abstruse, but what's good about Smile 2 is it not only continues this franchise that seems to be aborting on the part of Parker Finn, but it also takes on the music industry, the perils of fame, and it does so using a young woman who is a massive pop star, and think, Lady Gaga, Taylor Swift, that sort of person. This is a global pop star named Sky Riley, played to a fare thee well by Naomi Scott. By the way, she's my favorite new scream queen. Her terror and peril. Oh my God. I ate it up with a big spoon. And in any event, due to circumstances beyond her control, she goes and visits a drug dealer who has been infected by this. She's sort of desperate to calm down. She has pain after an automobile accident. She's trying to get through her big comeback tour. And unfortunately, the dealer has the smile virus.
Oh,
And
no.
the way
Oh,
these
no.
people. The way these people kill one another, Mark, it's absolutely amazing. And there's
So
all
they
these,
say, you wait a minute. You smile at the person, they see you
right?
smile, and now they are infected?
And as they smile and you see them smile, they kill themselves. And
Oh,
when
wow.
that
That's really,
happens,
yeah.
you're infected with the virus and you're either going to pass it on at some point over, I don't know, 48 hours. Again, it's a little unclear. The rules of this particular demonic possession, kind of unclear. And yet you're carried along with it. One of the nice things about Smile 2 is what it
Yeah.
does in terms of showing the desperation and the heartlessness of the entertainment business, which is supposed to be about joy and, connecting with your audience and whatever. But, oh, my God, the way the tour producers and the record company treat Sky, despite what is obviously her problem. And she has a stage mom running the show, a woman played by Rosemary DeWitt, who's always been a solid actress in anything she does. In this genre, this was damn good. But honestly, Mark, knowing your, weak stomach for gore, I don't know that this is for you.
It's not the gore that gets me. It's although that does sort of on some level, but it's the scare. I don't like to be scared. Like, is this scary? It sounds like a psychological thriller a little bit.
Yeah, there are jump scares, but there are some very creative suicides here where you're like, what? And she starts hallucinating. And it's nuts. But kudos to Naomi Scott for getting in there, hammer and tong. And by the way, she sings the original material that sounds, I thought as I left the movie, what hath American Idol wrought? And yet, this performance on her part, whether it's singing or screaming or being doped up or miserable or arguing with her mom, the manager, solid, baby. It's in theaters, and again, it is the sort of thing that'll play well at home, and it's a genre thing. And if you're not a horror fan, this is not for you. But for the rest of us who do get on board the horror train, woo woo,
It's Halloween. I mean, why? It's good for you. What else do you have for us, So Great Culture Blaster?
Well, let's see what else comes up as I shuffle the deck, because, yes, really, that's what it's all about. All right, a smart and kind of twisted satire about our global leaders. Let's call them our global leaders. Rumors brings together members of the so-called G7, played by the likes of Kate Blanchett, who does the German premiere, Charles Dance, who plays the President of the United States, and various other international actors and actresses, and also has Alicia Vikander playing someone from the European Union. They're all together at a getaway. The G7 is happening in Germany, and they're on this large estate, and they're trying to develop a statement made by all 7 members in concert that is going to address some, unclear international crisis. So they're wrestling over this. They're sitting in the gazebo. They're having photo ops. It just so happens that on the grounds, someone digs up, I guess you'd call it a fossilized Neanderthal or early man, and they make a big deal about being present at this archaeological find. And then things start going bonkers. And it's funny. There's a little bit of horror because you don't know whether the world is coming to an end. They're cut off from the rest of the world. They're cut off from their aides. They're cut off from the people that have been tending to them on this estate as they meet. And things get crazier and crazier. And these people have known one another for quite a while, so they have some kind of interesting interactions. There's a little romance between the Canadian Prime Minister and the UK Prime Minister, played by Nikki Imara Bird, who's a really fine actress. It was really clever and really cool and in my wheelhouse. I don't know that everyone will get on board, but I thought it was damn good. Rumors, by the way, was co-directed by the wacky Canadian director Guy Maddin with Evan Johnson and Galen Johnson. It was a 3-headed director situation. And I think as someone who's interested in international affairs and politics and stuff, this would be something you'd want to watch, Mark. It's kind of wacky, but I thought it was very, very cool and very clever. And it's also about how our governments fail us when push comes to shove at times. So anyway,
That's
rumors
interesting.
get
Yeah.
that gets
You
the
really
thumbs
liked
up
it.
from me.
Wow. Okay. What else do you have, a great culture blaster?
Well, Mark, I do have a movie that I think it is worth checking out as well.
By the way, just to
So,
be clear, both of those movies you just were talking about, Smile 2 and Rumors. And by the way, Rumors is spelled the British way, right?
yes, it
O-U-R-S.
is. Because
The-
Canadians are involved, of
Oh,
course.
Canadians, of course. That's the reason.
If Canadians are involved, you
those
know they're
bo-
going to spell it the British way. That's the nature of the beast.
Both those films are in theaters.
Yes, indeed they are. Although Rumors is in select theaters, as we like to say, whereas Smile 2 is opening wide, nationwide, and all around the world, I assume. Okay. Let's move on. This is a film that I think a lot of people will relate to. I thought it was pretty decent, and it stars the wonderful, ever wonderful Michael Keaton. It's called Goodrich, and it's about a guy who runs an art gallery, an art curator, and all-around art lover named Andy Goodrich. He works in Los Angeles, and he's on his second marriage, and he has a daughter from his first marriage, who is played, by the way, by Mila Kunis in a beautiful and measured performance. She's pregnant. He's dealing with that. But he also, again, has a second wife, and that second wife has gone off the rails. She checks herself into rehab, leaving Andy with their two twin kids, 9 years old. You know, again, even though he's an older man, it's his second marriage, and he's forced into being a decent father, which apparently he wasn't to his daughter by his first marriage. So this is all about the interrelationship between Andy and his family, both families, his reluctance to fully embrace his son-in-law, his fear about being a grandfather, and also his neediness in the face of losing that second wife who's been like a pillar for him, although apparently he's so wrapped up in his work, he doesn't really take care of family business as well as he should have. Being forced to take care of the twins brings out the father in him, as has never been the case. And obviously his daughter sees that in her time of need, being pregnant, and is a little resentful. It's a very measured and smart look at family interaction, and the way, you know, people kind of justify their activities and their inability to kind of give all of themselves to their family members when that might be the best way to go. And I thought it was well done. It's directed and written by a Nepo baby, that being Haley Myers-Shire, the daughter of Nancy Myers and Charles Shire, both filmmakers. So, you know, she got a little leg up, and she's also been watching these sort of interpersonal rom-droms all her life because, I mean, Nancy Myers, right? She's all about romantic comedies and the such. And she obviously learned by being there and watching. This is her second feature film as a writer-director, and I thought it was solid. You know, it's tough for me to go, okay, you know, Legacy Child, this was well done, but this was not bad at all. And I think that of the three movies here, this is the one that maybe has the widest potential appeal. It is, by the way, opening wide.
Terrific. I love it. Well, so there you go. We've increased our likability ratings as we proceeded. What else do you have, oh great culture blaster?
Well, let's wrap up the movie segment with a film that was kind of anticipated on my part because I love the two lead actors, one of whom is, they're both from the UK. One is Kelly MacDonald from No Country for Old Men, and the other is Damian Lewis, and you know him from Billions, and he was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think Kelly MacDonald, if I'm not mistaken, she was in Train Spotting. And we're talking about very accomplished actors, and they star in The Radleys, which was it was good for what it was, but it was a little disappointing. It was like one of those, you know, choose your own adventure movies where you kind of know what the next thing is going to be. You sort of have it all mapped out in your head. And the Radleys are a very unique suburban family. Mom, dad, son, and daughter, and in a dual role, Damian Lewis plays his brother, a ne'er-do-well uncle. And here's the key. These people, despite kind of, living embedded in a British suburbia, I believe Yorkshire is the area, are vampires. But mom and dad have abstained. They want to live in human society, so they're constantly trying to control their urges. And the kids don't even know they're vampires until the teenage girl loses control at one juncture, and the cat's out of the bag. The boy, the son, is gay and kind of decent and kind of has a crush on the boy across the street, whose dad is a former policeman who knows stuff's up. So all the ingredients and elements are there for something really, really good. And it was good. I just wasn't blown away.
Is it a comedy or is it a dramedy or what is it?
There are comedic aspects of it for sure, and it wasn't wildly funny, but it was fun to watch Damian Lewis in the dual role. And the kids are pretty fine young actors, not to be confused with fine young cannibals, not to be confused with fine young vampires. But I thought that it was solid, I guess. I wanted more out of it, but for what it was okay. And it's also in theaters at the moment and also streaming. So you can watch it at home if you want. Not great. This is another one of those not terrible, Michael Snyder, the Mark Thompson show. You kind of wish it was better, but I just feel like we've been here before on some level, even though it did have a kind of a fresh approach. They're trying to
says,
control.
And the boy falls in love with a mortal girl. It's called Twilight.
No, the boy has a crush on the boy across the street.
Exactly. He's a gay boy.
Yeah, who's best friends with the older sister, who has inadvertently discovered and again had to force her mom and dad to reveal that the family are vampires that are trying to control themselves. In fact, one of the nicest things about it is dad is a doctor with all that entails. So, if he cuts himself shaving, those old urges start coming up.
I see. I love it.
It has its moments. It does. I just wish it had been even better than it was. And let's just say, I give it a kind of tentative, okay, pretty good.
Okay. What else do you have, a great culture blast? You're done with the movies. What else do you have to recommend quickly, please?
Well, I do like to recommend the occasional television program, streaming show, or what have you. And I have one that I'm very intrigued by. And guess who's back? Because we just talked about her in rumors, but Cate Blanchett in what may be her first streaming TV series as the star, and it is very promising. It's called Disclaimer. And it's about a journalist who's just won an award. Her name is Catherine Ravenscroft, played by Cate Blanchett. And she's always been, investigative and digging up the stories, the seamy underbelly of her topics and her stories. And she apparently did something while a young woman that is coming out, and it's coming out in a very strange way, through a book that was written and published independently, and it shows up at her home, thereby throwing her home life into all kinds of tumult. Her husband is played by Sacha Baron Cohen, and the person who sends the book is played by Kevin Kline. He plays an older man quite convincingly. I mean, as in a really older man. And it is the work of director and screenwriter Alfonso Cuarón, who is a top drawer guy. He's written and directed, I think, the entire thing. And I was totally caught up in it. And it's got that hint of blackmail about it. We really don't know a couple episodes in what she did, but we're getting inklings. I thought it was pretty cool, very promising. It's on Apple TV. It's called Disclaimer.
Wow. Sounds terrific. It sounds like you really like it, too. And you've got, as you say, remarkable virtuosos in their field. I mean, Cate Blanchett, to me, is one of the great actresses of her generation. Just remarkable as an actress.
Totally.
Kevin Kline, of course, and then Alfonso Cuarón. That's pretty strong. Pretty group.
It's a little daunting, Mark, to see Kevin Kline play what appears to be a doddering old man, an academic who's been kicked out for, I think, potentially pedophilia from his gig, and now he's devoted his life as a widow to bringing down Catherine Ravenscroft, even if it destroys her marriage and humiliates her already balky son. It's a very well-made thing, at least as far as the first couple episodes go. Very promising. One
Can't
more
wait
quick
to get
note.
into it. Oh, sorry, one more. Go ahead. All right.
One more quick note. I do want to say before we sign off, I know you want to do a little recapitulation, but we're running out of time. I do want to say that tomorrow in San Francisco is a big deal. Music City SF, the hub of live performance and recording studios, has their official grand opening, and I'm really excited to be there. And it's I've been a couple times. It's soft openings there, and it is really something, a real boon to the local art scene and music scene. Music City SF. Big thumbs up.
I have to say, I wish we were going to be here to see it, because we had the guy who was the real prime mover behind it. We had him on the show. I think he was on the KGO show. And Music City SF is going to be terrific with performance spaces and all the rest. I'm really excited to hear what you think, and I'm excited that you're excited, because it is something exciting in the world of music and the world of San Francisco. So very good for you.
It's our pal, singer-songwriter Rudy Colombini. He's the mastermind behind it. He basically raised all the funds. He's kind of, the creative force behind it. And he's also the lead singer of the unauthorized Rolling Stones. And they are a blast. I don't know if they're playing tomorrow, probably, but he has his own album of original material out right now, and we're looking forward to that. And I wish you were here too. But that's it for me.
Disclaimer is the offering that is on Apple TV. It is Kate Blanchett and Kevin Kline. You heard him. Offensive Quran is a director, and it is something really special. He likes it. It is streaming, as I say, on Apple TV. The Radleys is the Culture Blasters pick that he felt was sort of okay. He said it's not bad. Damian Lewis, Kelly MacDonald. It's the vampire story turned on its side a little bit, because the vampires are sort of trying, it sounds like, to live within basic society, and there are all the temptations associated with vampire-ness that they are dealing with. Again, he kind of said, it's okay. The Goodrich film, which with Michael Keaton, I think leads the field today, is the one that he talked about. He's fathering twins. It's his second marriage, and it's sort of the demands of life is what I got from you, Culture Blaster, around Goodrich. And you felt that was the pick of the litter, sort of. You really liked that movie.
I think for the Mark Thompson show audience, it would be. But again, horror aficionados are going to get a big kick out of Smile, too. And honestly, it's smart, it's insightful, and it's kind of dryly satirical and humorous. Rumors, the other Kate Blanchett offering about the members of G7 facing a potential apocalypse. I thought that was pretty good. That was really my kind of movie, too. It's not a bad movie.
So it's between Goodrich and Rumors. You can only see one. Which one is it?
The Goodrich Rumors. No, I have no idea. Rumors of Goodrich.
Rumors is the other one. Anyway, so so I said it's kind of the pick of the litter. It sounds to me like he's saying, well, no, actually, Rumors, if you're up for that kind of thing, he really liked it. It's that the G7 is meeting. They've made an archaeological find. You heard Michael talk about Rumors. He really likes that, maybe even more than Goodrich. Smile 2 is the horror film that is, of course, it's the sequel to the original Smile horror offering, and Michael liked it. He said it's kind of weird. You're not really sure about this infection and exactly how it works, sort of the bylaws of the infection itself. But he said you do get wrapped up in it, and it's a winner. So he likes Smile 2. He really likes Rumors. He mostly likes Goodrich. He kind of likes the Radleys, and he really likes Disclaimer. That is the summary of the Culture Blasters offerings this time. What is it now, Mark?
I'm never this positive, Mark. I don't know what's wrong with me.
I want, in closing, a quick note about the Niners, if you would. They're playing a very tough game.
1:20 or so on Sunday at Levi Stadium. They have a rematch with the Kansas City Chiefs, who beat them thanks to the refs and a few other miscues on the part of the Niners in a Super Bowl the Niners should have won going away. This will be interesting. This will be a litmus test on some level. And at 3-3, they really need to win this to stay above 500. And it's never an easy task against Mahomes and Andy Reid.
It's not, great Culture Blaster. What a Renaissance man you are, covering sports, the arts, music. It's remarkable. I'm crippled sometimes by your knowledge of so much. And you speak French. What an extraordinary guy you are, Culture Blaster. Yeah. I'm just glad that you make time to come through our world every Friday. TheVoicesSF.org is where you can find more of him. He is the great Michael Snyder, and he comes and goes on a rainbow. I do love you. Michael Snyder, everyone. Thank you, Culture.
Fare thee well.
Fare thee well indeed.